His name on Jesus Christ, the Son, and now, let the weak say, I am strong. Oh, let the poor say, I am rich, because of what the Lord has done for us. Give thanks.
Thank you so much, choir. Good morning, everyone. First of all, I want to thank our spiritual father, Apostle Stephen 1KK. Thank you so much, sir, for the privilege to speak to us all. I also want to thank the pastoral team, Pastor Bertram, Pastor Chinwe Abana, and all other ministers present. Good morning once again. So this morning I'm going to take us on a topic I titled Wellness. What is wellness? So wellness refers to a state of complete physical, mental, emotional, social, and spiritual well-being. It is not just the absence of it is not just the absence of disease or infirmity, but rather a proactive approach to living a healthy, fulfilling, vibrant, and balanced life. So when we hear of wellness, it doesn't mean that the individual is free of a particular disease. What it just means is that the person has been able to find meaning in life. And that is why there are some times where you come in contact with people who probably have cancer, but then when you leave them happier than you were. And that's because though the person is going through so much health-wise, but he or she has been able to make people who come around him or her fulfilled and vibrant. So like I said, wellness is not the absence of disease, but it's being able to, in the midst of it all, find ways to live a vibrant life. So attaining wellness involves making conscious choices and taking steps to enhance one's overall quality of life. Now I'm going to take us through the dimensions of wellness. There are 5 different dimensions of wellness. We have the physical wellness, we have the mental wellness, we have the emotional wellness, we have the social wellness, and then the spiritual wellness. So when you talk about wellness, all of these aspects must be looked into and paid attention if you must enjoy a fulfilling life. Let's take the first one, which is physical wellness. This includes taking care of your body. And how do you take care of your body? You take care of your body through proper nutrition, balanced diets. You take care of your body through regular exercising. You also take care of your body through adequate sleep. And also, you need to find time to visit your healthcare professional. The next type of wellness, or dimension of wellness rather, is mental wellness. And this definitely has to do with how we feel, how we think and act. It also has to do with cultivating a positive mindset, managing stress effectively, especially in this time and age where we have a whole lot going on within us. It is necessary that we find ways to manage stress so we don't break down eventually. It also involves practicing mindfulness. And mindfulness, I mean paying attention to our thought process and patterns. And finally, seeking help when needed. Because at the end of the day, no man ever lives a fulfilling life in isolation. We need one another to succeed. We need one another to grow. We need one another to thrive. The third type of wellness is emotional wellness. And this has to do with recognizing and expressing our emotions in a healthy way. Yes, I understand there are some people you cannot deal with. There are some people that have a whole lot of negative vibe. You just don't want to talk to this person. You don't want to do life with this person. But in understanding how the mind of this person works, in understanding this person's personality, you're well able to deal with the person. And so this has to do with emotional intelligence as well. When you've come to that point where you understand your own emotions, you understand what makes you tick, you understand what makes you excited, you understand the things that you can deal with and the things you cannot deal with. And in return, you're better able to understand how other person also relates. Then at that point, you can say you're emotionally intelligent. Another aspect of emotional wellness is fostering resilience. So, by this, we mean finding ways to scale through tough times. And finally, nurturing positive relationships. So, all of these I've mentioned has to do with emotional wellness. Now, the fourth dimension of wellness is social wellness. This involves building and maintaining supportive relationships. Now, it's not enough for you to just build relationships. It's not enough for you to meet people. It is necessary that we find ways to maintain these relationships. So it's high time we start looking into our lives, start looking into our circle of friends, and finding out those people who, when you call them at 2 a.m., they are there to respond. When you call them, when life seems to be overwhelming for you, they are always there and ready to respond. These are the people you should give quality time to in maintaining such relationships. Because at the end of the day, um, when the ships are down, these are the people you fall back on. So it is necessary that you take stock of your contacts and see those people who are there for you through thick and thin, and give yourself everything necessary to see that you maintain these relationships. So under social wellness, we also have fostering a sense of belonging and engaging in meaningful social interactions. Yes, I understand there are different kind of humans. There are the extroverted ones, the ones that when they're in a circle, you know that this person is here, the person is vibrant, energetic, and everything. And then you have those ones that they rather just be in the crowd and not be seen. They rather just be in the crowd and keep the ball rolling. You know, Even if you are an introverted person, you should still find different means to still interact with people, because it is in interacting with each other we tend to see a different perspective to some things. It is in interacting with each other that we tend to expose ourselves to different areas of life that we may not know have ever existed. And if you don't give yourself to engaging in social interactions, you die gradually. You die spiritually, you die mentally, you die physically, you die emotionally. And why? Because you're not talking to people. So there's so much gain in us interacting with each and every one of us. Because at the end of the day, a tree cannot make a forest, and no man is an island. I need you, you need me. And the final dimension of wellness is spiritual wellness. It involves exploring and nurturing your sense of purpose and meaning in life. It involves connecting with God, who is greater than us, practicing gratitude and forgiveness. So, in spiritual wellness, of course, we thank God that we're in a church where Apostle puts spirituality first above all else. And we cannot say we do not understand certain spiritual mysteries that he has exposed us to. So, in connecting with God, it's not enough for you to come to church, you sleep in church from morning to night, but then your life has no meaning. You've not come to the point where you're asking yourself, why am I on earth? What is my purpose for living? Why am I even serving God in the first place? If you do not find meanings or answers to these questions, you may not live a fulfilling life spiritually. So when you come to that point where, for those who have discovered their purpose in life, beautiful, you're already on the right track. It's not enough for you to just discover your purpose. You have to find time to nurture your purpose. You have to give yourself time to grow. You have to give yourself to exposing those things that are necessary in saying that you live a fulfilling life. Spiritually also, I talked about gratitude. So there are people, yes, we know there are certain people who are very entitled. You give them 1 naira, oh, they are complaining, why are you giving me 1 naira? You have millions, why should you give me 1 naira? But when you learn the act of gratitude, it does certain things for the other person. It shows the person that, oh, yes, I'm actually doing something meaningful in the life of this person. And it opens up the person to do more for you. And you, in return, it also opens you up to receive more from the person. And forgiveness, too. There is no way you can live a life of unforgiveness and expect the Spirit of God to move. It doesn't work that way. There's no way you can live a life of unforgiveness and expect you to be well mentally. Because if I'm upset with you or I have a grudge, against you, the moment I see you, I become sad. I become depressed. I become bitter. So all of those things have a way of affecting the minds of individuals. It has a way of affecting, the emotions of individuals. And spiritually too, you cannot connect. So you just be in the church, oh, they're singing spiritual songs, you're jumping and everything, you're praying, but you're just making noise. You're not connecting with God. And that's because your heart is filled with so much grudge, so much bitterness, so much envy. So we need to learn to release those toxins because at the end of the day, those things, like I said, have a way of affecting our physical well-being. There are cases of ulcer. Ulcer does not, I've noticed that ulcer does not necessarily have to do with oh, you not eating or having a pain in your stomach or anything. It can be a result of bitterness. I have a personal experience when I'm with somebody and maybe I have an issue with that person. All of a sudden, I just start feeling very uneasy, and the first thing that sets in is ulcer. So you can see that um, a clean state of mind can actually lead to a healthy life and a balanced and fulfilling life. Thank you. So we move straight to benefits of maintaining wellness. I'll take first our physical health. We have talked about the different practices that are involved in when we talk about physical wellness, of which we have regular exercising, adequate sleep, we have eating properly, proper nutrition. So all of these things at the end of the day, they reduce the risk of diseases. So we have high blood pressure, we have type 2 diabetes, we have liver dysfunction, we have kidney failures and other diseases. So if you don't eat right, there's every tendency that all these diseases will come up. If you don't take enough water, if you don't stay hydrated, there's every tendency that your liver will be suffering it. Your kidney as well will be suffering it. So we need to start paying attention to the things we consume. Because at the end of the day, what you take in is what you give out. Garbage in, garbage out. You are what you take at the end of the day. So in the morning time of our lives, let's ensure that we give ourselves to healthy nutrition so that in the night time, we can enjoy the labor of all our hard work. Another benefit of physical health is it increases your energy levels. Of course, as you give yourself to exercising, there's a boost of energy. You have a lot of energy to take on the task for the day. You have a lot of energy to go about your plans. It's also improve overall physical functioning. Now, what better sleep does is to improve the memory skills. Because as you sleep, there are certain memories that your brain cell stores. And that can help you when you wake up in the morning, to function properly. If you don't sleep well, you cannot cheat nature for too long. At some point, nature will come for you. So why not cheat nature and then give yourself to adequate sleep? So you're waking up in the morning, you're more vibrant. Another benefit of paying attention to our physical health is it helps us maintain healthy bones, muscles, and joints so that when we are all aging, right, we can still function properly. So if you don't give yourself to exercising, if you don't give yourself to eating well, if you don't give yourself to having adequate sleep, all of that can affect our bones at the end of the day. Exercising also helps reduce the feelings of anxiety and depression. So when you find yourself feeling depressed or you're anxious and you're nervous or you just don't feel right, why not just take a moment to probably go jogging, not go to the beer parlor to drink or go and smoke, because at the end of the day, you think that will relieve you. It's just going to be a temporary relief, but indirectly, you're damaging your health. So it's best to just take, some time off to exercise so that you can kill the depression and the anxiety that you feel. And at the end of the day, it enhances your mood. There's a saying, I think it was an artist who said it. He said that problem no they finish, make you try to enjoy. So please pay attention to your physical health. So the other benefits will go straight to mental health. We had mentioned also the practices for attaining mental wellness. So all of these can lead to better emotional regulation. In understanding how your emotions work and that of your neighbor, you're better able to relate with people. It also increases resilience and productivity. By this, I mean when your mental health is in check, you're able to focus on the task, you're able to concentrate, you're able to deliver on the job or the assignment that you've set your heart to do or you've been asked to do. Because if your mental health is not under check, there is no way you can deliver excellently well. So you need to start paying attention to your mind. Another benefit is it improves cognitive function. By this, I mean, so the brain is able to move quickly and interpret information. And by that, you apply it to certain tasks to achieve productivity. If your brain is not, if your brain cells rather are not functioning well, there is no way you can deliver. Paying attention to our mental health also improves our ability to pay maximum attention. So these days, there are so many distractions everywhere. You find that our attention span is gradually reducing. So it's high time for us to start paying attention to those things that distract us so that we can give maximum attention to the things that matter and are more fulfilling in life. Under emotional well-being, there are also benefits of paying attention to our emotional wellness. It helps us nurture positive relationships, enhances our mood. Again, I'm going to talk about our circle of influence. There are certain people you have as friends who they are vibrant. You look at them and you ask yourself, doesn't this person ever have any problem he or she is battling with? Because with them, it's never a dull moment. They are always hyper, always happy. It's not a bad idea to have such people around you so that they can help enhance your own mood, so they can help suppress whatever negativity you're feeling. Also, emotionally, when our emotions are in check, it reduces stress, it promotes greater satisfaction with life. Like I said earlier, with those who are emotionally intelligent, you can better relate with people around you. So at the end of the day, you're not always at loggerheads with people. Benefits of wellness in social connections. It encourages the development and maintenance of strong connections, which are vital for emotional support. I think each and every one of us here have that one person that we go to, our go-to person when we are overwhelmed, when things are not just making sense, when things are not just right. Those are your emotional support system, and those are the people that you should do well to build um, a long-lasting relationship with. For me, I know who my support system is, and any day, anytime, she's there to give me a hug. Social connections also gives a sense of belonging and overall happiness. So we need to start building connections. We need to start building relationships. We need to start letting people know that we truly do care about them. Because it's not enough for you to have people who care about you. You also must be willing to give so that you can receive. Then there's the place of spiritual fulfillment. Connecting with God and building a consistent relationship with Him gives a life a purpose. It gives our lives meaning. It gives us inner peace and a deep sense of fulfillment. So if you give yourself to other aspects of wellness and you leave out the spiritual aspect of it, you're doing yourself a um, it is just you're doing yourself an injustice, right? Because at the end of the day, God is above all. And only in God can we find fulfillment. Only in God can we find peace. So we need to start cultivating our relationship with God. God is always there to listen to us. Even if whatever he's saying is not making sense, you can just take a break away from the bohahas happening in the society, on the home, and just stay with God. You don't even have to say too many things. Just let him know that you are there. Let him know that you've come with your burdens, because he said it in his word that we should cast all our burdens on him, that he cares for us. So if God cares so much about our burdens, why are we shying away from going to him in the place of prayer? Why are we shying away from communing with him? Because at the end of the day, our relationship with God is what sets us apart from every other person. Now, we've been talking about aspects of wellness. Now, the question is, how do I achieve wellness? Achieving wellness involves adopting a holistic approach that encompasses various aspects of well being. First, you have to prioritize physical health. You have to focus on eating a balanced meal. So one thing I've been doing of recent is when I'm given the option to pick between carbonated drinks and fruits, I'd rather go for fruits than the carbonated drinks. Yes, the carbonated drinks, they give you this feeling of excitement because of the sugary content, especially when it's chilled. You think you're enjoying life. No problem. Go ahead and consume them. As you age, you start seeing the benefits of the things you're consuming. So it's best for you to go for the thing that will enhance your physical health. And having a balanced meal, you don't have to be so rich to have a balanced meal. A little portion here and there can help. A little bit of fruit, a little bit of vegetables, a little bit of protein, all of that in one meal. And you see that you're helping yourself in the long run. You also have to engage in regular exercising. I know the stress in Lagos is enough to even say, I beg, I cannot exercise. This trekking I'm trekking is enough exercise for me. But there's a place for conscious exercising. It will amaze you to see that lots of slim people are not even fit because they don't exercise themselves. And those who are on the chubby side are even more fit than people who are slim. So that goes to show you that the chubby ones are actually doing something that the slim ones are not doing. So let's start paying attention to our health. Let's start exercising so that in the ninth time of our lives, we don't come down with all kinds of illness that accompanies aging. Also, we have to stay hydrated. Water is very, 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 very important. Even if you're the type, some people will tell you, oh, I don't like drinking water. Water makes my tummy full. Yes, I understand, but if you can be taking little, just take baby steps, just take little cups, right? You see that you'll be helping your health in return. The liver needs water to live. The kidney needs water to live. And every other part of your body as well needs water to live. So please stay hydrated. Get adequate sleep. So I understand our fathers in the house, they have to give themselves to work, 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 because they need to provide for the family, which is beautiful. And we do not take that for granted. Also, our mothers, too, they're on the streets giving themselves to work, 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 because they need to put food on the table. But in the midst of it all, please find time to sleep. You can create a bedtime routine. So for me, I have an alarm that notifies me it's bedtime. So I shut down, I go to bed. And on waking up in the morning, there's also an alarm that wakes me up in the morning. So if we can start with setting these bedtime and wake up time routines, it will help us in the long run. And also electronic devices, for as long as we keep staring at electronic screens before going to bed, you will not enjoy your sleep. Okay? So find time, an hour before you finally fall asleep. Just keep your digital devices away from you so that you can have a good sleep and function by morning, so you don't wake up feeling all cranky and angry at the world on waking up in the morning. If that is your case, then just know that you've not been resting well. It is a body that is fighting you. Also, very importantly, in prioritizing our physical health, we need to start attending regular checkups. I know people who don't like visiting the hospitals or the clinics because they feel, even if I don't have a disease, doctor will tell me I have this. Doctor must just look for something. Doctor wants to sell. They want to sell their drugs. They want to do this. They want to do that. But it's best for you to know what is going on in your system early enough so that you can start managing it. So there are certain conditions that they've started years before it advanced into the end stage. And then you wake up one morning and you realize that your health has deteriorated. Or you wake up one morning and you find out that you cannot see, you've gone blind. There are certain conditions that have been right from time. But because you didn't pay attention to giving yourself to medical checkups, routine checkups, it catches up with you unaware. So everything is not village people. Every day is not my neighbor. Everything is not my friend that is doing me. We are the ones doing ourselves. We are the ones doing ourselves because we refuse to pay attention to our health, right? So let's do well to keeping up with routine checkups. Please, I beg you, so that the time you're supposed to spend enjoying your life in old age, you don't spend in praying for healing. Fire, fire, fire. Aren't you tired of the fire, fire, fire concerning your health? So please, do well with your health. I pray God gives us understanding in Jesus' name. Okay, so we'll talk about mental health, strategies to achieving mental health. We need to learn to practice stress management techniques. Yes, you can't take stress out of life. Every day is stress. You're waking up, you're going through stress, you're going through the activities of the day. Even if there's no stress around you, you're creating stress by yourself because of the thoughts you're harboring on the inside. So we need to give ourselves to practicing stress management techniques, and some of which I'm going to be mentioning to us. We have the deep breathing exercise. So when you feel overwhelmed, you can take some breaks away from whatever it is you're doing and just practice deep breathing exercise. It has a way of regulating um, the flow of blood and oxygen. It has a way of relaxing your muscles as well. There's also the place of meditation. Sometimes we do things we are not supposed to because we've not found time to sit with ourselves and ask ourselves certain questions. We've not gone on a date with ourselves to know, why am I acting this way? Why do I think the way I think? Why is my family this way? Why are my finances this way? Why is this way? Why is that this way? We've not done that for ourselves. So it is necessary that we don't have to wait for the young ones. I'm not excluding myself. We don't have to wait for some guy to take us out on a date. Go on a date with yourself. Take some time away from the environment. You know, give yourself some treats. Even at your working place, you can take a walk around. It's not even advised for you to sit on one spot for too long. You're damaging your muscles and your bones and all of that. So you have to learn to take breaks, because there's something, some people say, oh, if I don't do this thing, it can't be done. Should I shock you? If anything happens to your health now, there's definitely going to be a replacement, trust me. So when you feel so overwhelmed, why not just tell whoever is concerned you want to take some breaks and go and take care of yourself, so that you can refresh yourself, you can re-energize yourself, and then you come back to what you're doing. You also have to engage in activities that promote mental stimulation and relaxation. So by that I mean you have to learn to start reading books. Books have a way of relaxing our minds. For those who love games, you can start playing puzzles like crosswords, Sudoku, board games also like chess, like Monopoly, Scrabbles. All of those things. It's not a waste of time, okay? It's just you trying to relax yourself and stimulate your mind. You also have to engage in journaling. So journaling helps. By journaling, I mean penning down things. It's not only the negative things you pen down. You can pen down how you feel. It could be positive, it could also be negative. It helps a whole lot. You can channel all the anger, all the frustration, whatever it is you're feeling, you can channel it down to penning things down. And the next one under emotional wellness is cultivating emotional well being. Like I said earlier, you have to give yourself a break if you feel stressed out. That work can be done. Another person can do that job. For our mothers in the house, please, let's try to plan our time such that you don't feel overwhelmed at the end of the day. You don't break down. If anything happens to you today, I'm sorry to say this, it's just going to be 1 minute silence. The next thing, your husband is finding a replacement for you. So what happens? And also for our fathers in the house, when you feel so overwhelmed, you also should learn to take breaks in between. Because if anything happens to you tomorrow, the next of kin is there to enjoy all your labor, and they will enjoy it well. So let's also learn to take vacations away from home and work to relax and recharge our batteries. It's beautiful to see some couples who they plan their vacations yearly. I have a patient who himself and his wife, they have other couples around them where they come together yearly to just relax, talk about life, unwind. So it's necessary that we take vacations. Vacations take helps us, move far away from whatever issues we're being faced with, from all the stress, and disturbances of life. We also need to learn forgiveness. It helps release our minds and bodies from toxicity and unnecessary tensions. Journaling, like I said, also helps emotionally. Now you have to learn to nurture your relationships. Very, very important. You can't live in isolation and expect to grow. There is nothing that grows in isolation. So we have to. And it's not a case of us going to look for, oh, this person is rich, oh, that person is rich, and so I should build some form of bond with this person. No, you have to look for your go-to person that can support you when the chips are down. And in finding the support system, in finding friends, you also have to show yourself friendly. Media, could you please put up Proverbs 27, verse 17 for us? Okay. So it says, as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. I guess this scripture is straightforward for us to understand. You want to be sharpened mentally, spiritually, emotionally, career-wise. You need to start moving with people whose minds are sharp so that yours can be sharpened in return. And also countenances. If there are people that are full of bad energy, negative, and they never say anything good, you see them, the first thing they're talking about is terrible, terrible, terrible things. Those things drain you. Because when you keep giving yourself to these things, subconsciously you become these things. So why not do away with those people and pray that the hand of God touches them? There's also the place of talking things out. So I do that a lot when I'm so overwhelmed, when my mind is full and it's as if I'm losing it. I just go to a safe place and I talk to myself. Talking to yourself helps you ease off whatever it is you're feeling. There's just this ease and calmness that comes with it. Because if care is not taken, if you move with all of the issues you're faced with, you're going to damage a lot of things. There are certain decisions you will make that will not make sense at the end of the day. There are decisions you will make that will destroy you. There are relationships you will have that will also be destroyed. Why? Because of the issues you're faced with. You're transferring the aggression on the next person. And even amongst friends too, amongst couples, amongst workers also in church. If there are things, there are issues you're having with the next person, or with whoever it is, just ensure you talk things out. Because at the end of the day, issues talked about is halfway solved than you going about not talking about it at all. Then we also need to seek professional help. Go for therapy. It's not a waste of money. There are people that have been trained to help people come out of whatever it is they're battling with mentally and emotionally. Find yourself such people and give yourself the help that you need. Another strategy to fostering social connection, we have building and maintaining relationships with others. Media, please put up for us Proverbs 18, verse 24. Okay, it says, a man of many companions may come to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. I guess that is straightforward also. So let's find that one friend that sticks together than a brother. So your brother may not be your friend. Your cousin may not be your friend. Sometimes the strongest of relationships we've ever formed are those who are not even part of our family. So find those people and please, by all means, maintain it. And in maintaining relationships, it doesn't even cost much. There's the era of we're in the era of social media now. It could just be picking up your phone and just reaching out. Oh, I just thought about you today. How are you feeling? How is work? How is life? And that's it. When the person sees that you're constantly reaching out to them, not to hear gist or so that you take the person's gist and then you start gossiping. No, just to show that, oh, I care about this person. You find this person opening up and the person will start, relating so many things to you. Okay, so if we want people to reach out to us, we also should learn to reach out to people. It could be a text, it could be a call, it could even be a gift wrapped up and delivered to the person. You don't have to see the person physically. So let's whatever it is we desire out of people, let's be willing to also give such. Okay, so yes, there's a place of spending quality time with family and friends. If you have a family who is so knit together, you don't know the gift that God has given to you. There are some families that the brothers cannot talk to themselves, the parents cannot talk to themselves. Because at the end of the day, when you are all you've got, you find that when you wake up in the morning by your bedside, it is your family you would see. For some people, I've been through situations in life and I've had to be hospitalized at some point in my life. And trust me, those days I was there, when I turned to my right, is my sister and my mother. When I turned to my left, is my sister and my mother. So imagine if we've not built that strong bond. What happens is just going to be you in the hospital. And there are cases of so many lonely parents, so many lonely patients. They will tell you, oh, my son doesn't pay attention to me. Oh, my daughter, she doesn't pay attention to me. They want to even sit in the clinic and spend the whole day gisting with you. And that's because back at home, there's really nobody they can talk to. So now that we have us, please, let's do well to nurture the bond that we share. Also, let's engage in activities to meet new people. Research shows that social isolation and loneliness can have a negative impact on our physical and mental health. Yes, there are some people that come down with certain health conditions because they are not socializing, because they are not communicating with people, because they are not interacting with people. I'll give a testimony of a patient who visited. She's into elderly people. She has it's not a, it's, it's somewhat a foundation, yes. All she does is just to gather elderly people together. They have fun, they go on picnics, they have different activities, really. And there was something she said when they said there was one woman who had supposedly loss of memory. And in that same group, she connected with a friend from way back secondary school. And the moment she saw that friend, it was as if her mind started playing back all the things they had done together in secondary school. And then she became alive again, and people were wondering. So it was at that point I realized that, oh, really? So if you're just isolating yourself, you die mentally. But when you're constantly relating with people, the brain cells are alive, the brain cells are active. and then your memory is rekindled. So please, let's do well to reach out to ourselves. Practice, practice social activities. Be a volunteer. There are different organizations who are looking for volunteers. You can give yourself to them. Do something, contribute to your community. Don't just keep taking and taking and taking and taking and taking without you giving back. It doesn't have to be so much. It could just be you donating, something, but let it be that you're doing something for your community. Because the truth of the matter is giving brings a lot of fulfillment, a whole lot of fulfillment. Sadly, some people have abused it. But if you know that me doing this, there's something it does for me, please go ahead, do it, and give yourself all it takes to maintain it. And so we're going to talk about spiritual fulfillment, the strategies to achieving spiritual fulfillment. You have to start reflecting on your values. You have to start reflecting on your beliefs. You have to start reflecting on your why for being on earth. This will help you in return to choose your circle of friends and your circle of influence. But if you're the kind of person who don't have any value, you don't have anything guiding you, I'm sorry, anything that comes, you take. And that's why we find our youth, they are involved in so many unhealthy circles because they've not found their own reason, their own value, that thing that keeps them, that thing that makes you unique. There are certain places that I cannot be found in because I don't have such belief, right? I don't have such value. And when people come around and they want to talk about these things, I don't give attention to them. Why? Because this is not me. But if you don't come to that point where you've defined who you are and what makes you stand out and that thing that you're pursuing in life, I'm sorry, anything goes. Anything goes. And at the end of the day, you start blaming yourself that, this person did this to me, oh, that person did that to me. If you had found a value that you both are working with and you are aligned in achieving that, I don't think all of that would have come in place. You have to stay with people who are aligned with your values. Trust me, even in the body of Christ, not everybody aligns with each other's value. Mm-mm. What I value is not what you value. What I believe in is not what you believe in. So if you're going with that mindset that, because Chidima attends Christ-like assembly, that means I can be friends with Chidima. But at the end of the day, Chidima's value is not my value. I'm sorry, you're heading yourself for destruction. So even in the body of Christ, find yourself those people that align with your value system. Those are the ones that will help hasten your achievements in destiny. Because if you keep mingling with people who don't align with your values, it slows you down. It slows you down in achievement of purpose in life. We also have to engage in practices that nurture our spiritual well-being. So we have the place of prayers, we have the place of singing worship songs. All of those things, they build us up, they energize us. We also have to spend time with those who love. For those who love nature, you can also spend time, in nature. Then you have to practice self-care. How do you practice self-care? You have to engage in activities that recharge you physically, mentally, and emotionally. And those activities have a way of recharging your batteries at the end of the day. So we have talked about some of these things. I'm just going to give a recap. We talked about taking breaks. Then you have to pamper yourself. You can't walk, 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 walk and not give yourself a good life. You can't walk, 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 walk and not give yourself a treat. At the end of the month, when you're paid your salary, is there anything you can look at and say, I did this for myself because I deserve this? I've worked so hard for this, so why can't I have this? Okay, so we don't have to wait for our husbands to do that for us. We don't have to wait for our wives to do that for us. We don't have to wait for those in relationships, for our partners to do that for us. You have to learn to start pampering yourself. Buy yourself gifts. Take care of your skin. Take care of your health. It goes a long way. So that at the end of the day, when there's nobody around you, you can still stand because you've already mastered the act of taking care of yourself. Then you pursue hobbies. There are different hobbies. There is playing of table tennis, basketball, football, whatever it is that you do that recharges you. Please do well. Then alone time, very important. You can't take the place of going on a date with yourself, setting yourself aside to ponder on, okay, where am I? Where am I going to? areas where you're not doing right, habits that you need to drop. Only in a place of self-meditation will you discover all of these things. I pray God helps us in the name of Jesus. Also, we need to start setting healthy boundaries. You're not called to everybody. That's one thing you should know. You're not called to pay attention to everything because God has assigned different people for different tasks. So if you feel you are the only one, I'm sorry. You're hurting yourself, you're damaging your health. Okay, so you need to not be a yes, yes person. You need to come to that point where you say no, and your no is no. You don't even have to explain to people the reason why you're saying no. So if you saying yes causes you to feel overwhelmed, I think it's high time for you to start setting those boundaries because at the end of the day, everybody will be all right. So we need to, not only in our personal lives, also in our professional lives too, we need to start setting healthy boundaries. And I'd also talked about circle of friends. So gossips really, I know, yes, gossip can be sweet, oh, let me be very honest with you. But you see, if the gossip is not leading you in the right direction, you're wasting time. You're wasting valuable time. Please drop it. Please, please drop it. There's really no time anymore to be gossiping. And gossip destroys too. It destroys trust, it destroys bond of friendship. We need to prioritize activities that align with our values and goals. And finally, on strategies to achieving wellness, we need to seek balance. So there has to be a balance amongst relationship, work, leisure, and personal growth. If we don't find a balance in all of these things, we wouldn't achieve this wellness that we have been talking about. You have to avoid overcommitting yourself. Nobody ever won a trophy in being the most hardworking husband or the most hardworking wife or the most hardworking staff, right? You're giving yourself so many responsibilities. People are cheering you on, but on the inside, you're dying. So please, let's prioritize these things and know the things to give ourselves to and the things we shouldn't give ourselves to, so that at the end of the day, everybody's all right and we're all happy and well. Okay, so in creating a wellness plan, we need to start assessing our current habits and identify areas of improvement. For me, I know the areas I need to improve in. You know the areas you need to improve in. So you need to write down all the habits, both positive and negative, and find those ones that you're doing well, beautiful, maintain it, continue in them. But those ones that you're not doing well, you have to find ways to do better with them and improve. And in creating a wellness plan, you don't have to create plans that are way out of reach. So there's something called SMART. We employ that when we are planning our goals. So there is SMART. SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So you can pick up an area of your life and say, okay, this is the area of wellness I want to focus on. It could be emotionally. Now you have to have a plan for measuring it so that you know how well you've done so far. Now you have to ensure that the goal you have set for yourself in attaining emotional wellness is something that is achievable. And you have to ask yourself, is it relevant to me? Is it relevant to my career? Is it relevant to my purpose and destiny? And then set a time. Because often than not, when we set goals for these things, we really don't set plans in achieving them. And if you don't set time. And if you don't put a time to these goals, you may spend 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years on one particular wellness plan. So let's do well to put all of these in place. Yeah, I know there are barriers to attaining wellness. Some of the barriers are lack of time, I understand. Lack of motivation, I understand. Also distractions too. This is an era where you're waking up in the morning and the first thing you're thinking of doing is checking WhatsApp, check Instagram, check TikTok, check Facebook, check what's the other social media handle? So many things taking our time. right? It's high time we start letting go of something. Sometimes when I feel like I'm too distracted, I just pick up my phone and I delete Instagram, and it helps. So find out that thing that is of utmost distraction to you and do away with that thing. Then, for those who are into drugs and alcohol, you can never attain wellness if you're constantly consuming yourself with alcohol and with drug. You take alcohol, you wake up in the morning, that's the first thing you use to wash your mouth. You go about activities of the day is alcohol. At night before you go to bed is alcohol. You're damaging yourself unknowing to you. So please, let's do well with all that. Then there's the place of stress too. Stress can hinder you from achieving wellness. So how do you overcome these things? You have to practice what we call time management strategy. So, in time management strategy, there is a matrix that works for those who don't know how well to plan their time. So, there is a matrix called Eisenhower matrix. It aligns for us four different categories. Four different quadrants. So, we have activities that are important and urgent. Those are the things that you should do. You don't even have to wait for a second, in not doing it. Those are the things that they have clear deadlines and there are consequences for not taking immediate action. So I'm just going to briefly list out examples. So examples of those things that you should do immediately that are urgent and important are finishing a project, submitting an article, responding to some emails. Then it could be for mothers or fathers, it could be picking up your sick kid from school. Then the second quadrant is the one that is important but not urgent. So when you find that there are activities that are not important but not urgent, what do? You schedule time for these things. So examples are planning, professional development, networking, and exercising. And then there are some activities that are not important but they are urgent. You delegate these things, right? If you have A that can do the task, why not give it to A? If you have B that can do it, why not give it to B? I think that's one secret of one of the most wealthy people in the world. They don't do everything by themselves. There's a place for delegation. So let's learn to delegate our task. Even in homes as well. A mother cannot do everything. A father cannot do everything. The kids are there. Delegate these things. Train them early so they don't deviate from it at the end of time. So in delegating things, examples are uploading blog posts for those who are bloggers, scheduling, responding to some emails. Not all emails require your immediate response. Not all messages require your immediate response. And then meal planning. You can delegate all of these things. And lastly, there are some tasks that are not important and they are not urgent. Examples, social media, watching TV, playing video games, eating junk food. So whatever it is that is not fulfilling, these are the things that you should delete. So yeah, write out the things that you need to do in order of importance and start doing them one after the other so you don't get overwhelmed at the end of the time. Then you seek social support. Very, very important. So in conclusion, God's utmost desire for our lives is found in 3rd John chapter 1 verse 2. Media, please upload for us 3rd John 1 verse 2. Okay, so this is the word of the Lord to us all this morning. Dear friend, I pray that you may enjoy good health. Please give me NKJV. Thank you. Okay, beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in health, just as your soul prospers. So this is God. He said, above all else, this is what He desires, that He wants us to prosper and be in good health. And that is because even our Father knows the importance of sound health. It's only when we are sound in our minds, in our bodies, in our spirits, will we be able to fulfill His desire and plans for our lives. So in the course of your wellness journey, I would advise, please be easy on yourself. It's not going to be a walk in the park. Be kind and patient with yourself. If at some point you fall on the journey, pick yourself up and try again. Thank you.
Great is the Lord, and greatly to be praised, and the